Hi everybody, I am Campus Ravanti, lecturer in ECE, Government Polytechnic for Women Warangal. Today the topic of my presentation is use of Megger and loading effect with an example. In the last class we have discussed construction and working of series and shunt type ohm meters. Now today's class you will learn about construction of Megger, working principle of Megger and voltmeter sensitivity and the loading effect on voltmeter. First, let us move on to the topic what is Megger. Megger is a most commonly used instrument for the measurement of insulation resistance. It's also known as insulation tester. Resistances of the order of 0.1 mega ohm and upwards are classified as higher resistances. Megger is a combined unit of an ohm meter and DC hand driven generator. This is the Megger instrument. Here we can see different scales. There is a hand cracked generator and a resistance scale that is in ohms and mega ohms. The DC generator develops a supply voltage of 500 volts when its armature rotated inside the magnetic field by rotating the handle at 160 rpm. rpm stands for revolutions per minute with the speed. The high voltage source is required to pass a measurable current through the high resistance to be measured. Now let us come on to the principle of operation. It is based on the principle of electromagnetic induction. When a current, we already know that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field, it experiences a mechanical force whose magnitude depends upon the strength of current and magnetic field, while its direction depends on the direction of current and magnetic field. This is the circuit diagram or the construction diagram of the Megger. You can see there is one current coil. It consists of one current coil and a pressure coil. There is a one permanent magnet and which provides the field for both the generator, and there is a generator G, that is the hand driven generator G, and there is an ohm meter. The moving element of the ohm meter, it consists of two coils, that is here indicated current coil, and there is a pressure coil, that is a control coil. Current coil or pressure coil, two coils are there. Current coil we can denote with a CC and pressure coil denoted with a PC. Current coil is also known as deflection coil and pressure coil also known as control coil. Here we can see pressure coil, that is V1 and V2 are there. These coils are mounted on the same shaft and placed in the field of permanent magnet. You can see the permanent magnet. In the field of magnet, that is 90 degrees apart, we can place the generator. Here there is a generator, that is the hand driven generator. The generator energizes the two coils over separate wires. The deflecting coil, nothing but a current coil which is connected in series with R1. You can see in the figure. You can see this is the construction of Megger. This is the alternate figure. The deflecting coil is connected in series with R1 between one generator terminal and the test terminal T1. The series resistance protects the deflecting coil in the event of the test terminals getting short circuited and also controls the range of the instrument. Here you can see X is a unknown resistance what we are going to measure, N and S you can see the magnet, that is the permanent magnetic poles, and R1 is the resistance and R2 is the non-inductive high resistance through which the current can flow, that is I1 and I2 are there. I1 is the current through the deflecting coil and I2, capital I2 is the current through the unknown resistance. This is the internal circuit of the Megger. You can see the current C, that is a current coil. X is the unknown resistance between L and E. And M is a meter. You can see the meter, that is the scale, that is from 0 to infinity to 0 to infinity. There is a pressure coil P. You can see. Coming to the construction, we have already discussed, that is it consists of two coils, pressure coil and current coil. These are mounted on the same shaft and placed in the field of permanent magnet 90 degrees apart. Generator energizes the two coils over separate wires. The deflecting coil is connected in series with R1 between one generator terminal and the test terminal. You can see the series resistance is there. It can protect the deflecting coil in the event of the test terminals getting short circuited and also controls the range of instrument. The pressure coil in series with R2 is connected across the generator terminals. You can see the unknown resistance, that is example cable under test, that is connected in series with the other coil. You can see clear is there. The unknown resistance is there. X is the unknown resistance which is connected in series with the other coil. Now the coils are connected to the circuit through flexible leads called ligaments or ligaments. The figure shows the connections, that is for the measurement of insulation resistance of a cable using a Megger. The line terminal of the Megger is connected. You can see L, there is an L representation is there. The line terminal of the Megger is connected to the conductor of the cable while the guard wire is connected to the cable insulation. The third terminal which is connected to the earth. You can see there, and is also joined to the lead sheath of the cable which is at the ground potential. Indirectly, the insulation resistance comes directly across the earth and the line terminals. For this reason, the deflecting coil is energized through the resistance to be measured connected in series with it and across the DC generator. When the resistance to be measured is small, the current through the deflecting coil becomes more and torque developed by it becomes considerably higher than the torque developed by the control coil, and the pointer moves towards the zero position. Is it clear? Now coming to the working action, let us see once again the construction. Internal circuit. It is an instrument to test the insulation resistance between value of 0 and infinity. The moving system, it consists of two coils mounted rigidly at right angle to each other, nothing but 90 degrees apart. One of the coil acts as the deflecting coil, other coil controlling coil. Both the coils are connected across the generator in parallel. The polarity of the coils are such that they produce opposite torques. The control coil is connected through a non-inductive high resistance to the generator. It produces constant torque. The deflecting coil is connected, you can see deflecting coil is nothing but the current coil. It is connected in series with the resistance to be measured, which produces the torque and is inversely proportional to the value of the resistance. Now coming to the working of the megger. When current flows in coils A and B, they tend to turn the, you can see the figure. You can see there, when current flows in coils, they tend to turn the moving elements in opposite direction. The pointer then takes a position over the scale where the two forces are equal. When the terminals, you can see the L, there is an L and you can see line L and the guard G are open circuited. Nothing is connected across the L and G. No current flows in the coil. The potential coil alone controls the movement and takes a position opposite the gap. The pointer indicates infinity. When, however, a resistance is connected across the terminals, a current flows in coil A and the corresponding torque draws the potential coil away from the infinity. When high resistance to be tested is connected between the terminals, the opposing torques of the coils balance each other. So the pointer returns a stationary position at some intermediate point on the scale. The scale is calibrated in megaohms so that the resistance is directly indicated by a pointer. So the supply to the meter is given by a hand driven permanent magnet DC generator. The supply voltage may be 100 and 100, 250, 500, 1000 or 1500 in different meters. The combined action of two voltage coils is to offer strong controlling torque near the zero end of scale where current coil carries large current. If in case the external is infinity, deflecting torque is negligible and the controlling torque dominates, bringing the needle to the zero deflection position or infinity position. If the external resistance is zero, the deflecting voltage dominates the controlling torque and pushes the needle to full scale deflection, showing the resistance is zero. The scale is calibrated from intermediate values between 0 and infinity. This is all about the working action. So, what type of tests are carried out by a megger? We can do that following test, nothing but insulation or leakage test. By using megger, we can check the continuity or open circuit test and polarity test and a short circuited test. The resistance range of meggers is very broad. For insulation resistance measurements, their range is thousands of megaohms. They are also designed to measure a resistance of only a few ohms, such as the resistance of ground of tower footings or ground wires. The measure is mainly used for measuring the insulation resistance of cables, insulators, and windings of motors and generators. What are the precautions we have to take using measure? To prevent the demagnetization of the permanent magnets, the measure should never be connected to a circuit in which current is flowing and should not be placed on a pole piece or the bed plate of a motor or a generator. In figure you can see there is a guard ring. Guard is there, GUARD. The guard ring is provided to eliminate the error due to leakage current. That means to avoid the leakage current, guard ring is provided. The supply to the meter is usually driven by a hand driven permanent magnet DC generator. Sometimes motor driven generator may also be used. This is all about the working action of the measure, and now let us move on to the sensitivity of the voltmeter. So sensitivity, how to define the sensitivity is nothing but it is defined as amount of resistance offered by a voltmeter per 1 volt of measurement. Now let us go into the deep discussion. While selecting a meter for a particular measurement, the sensitivity rating is very important. A low sensitivity meter may give the accurate reading in low resistance circuit, but it will produce totally inaccurate reading in high resistance circuit. The voltmeter is always connected across the 2 points between which the potential difference is to be measured. If a high sensitivity voltmeter is connected across a low resistance, as the voltmeter resistance is high, most of the current will pass through a low resistance and will produce the voltage drop, which will be nothing but the true reading. But if a low sensitivity voltmeter is connected across the high resistance, then it acts as shunt for that portion of the circuit, thus reduces the equivalent resistance in that portion of the circuit. The meter then indicates a lower reading than the true reading. This effect is called the loading effect of the voltmeter. It's mainly caused due to the low sensitivity instruments. So, to define the sensitivity of a voltmeter, the amount of resistance offered by a voltmeter per 1 volt of measurement. It is the ratio of sum of meter resistance and series resistance Rm plus Rs to the full scale deflection, that is capital V in volts. Hence the units are ohm per volt. The sensitivity is expressed, you can see ohm per volt. Sensitivity is equal to volt is nothing but that is P equal to IR, that is volt per you can see we can define it as 1 per ampere or 1 by volt per amps, volt per ohm, sorry. Now loading effect, we have already discussed. A low sensitivity meter give correct readings when measuring voltages in low resistance circuits. It produces very unreliable readings in high resistance circuits. Voltmeter connected across 2 points in a highly resistive circuit acts as a shunt that reduces equivalent resistance. The meter will give a low indication than actual value. This is called loading effect. In general, when the load resistance across which a voltmeter is connected is in comparison with the voltmeter internal resistance, then loading effect is experienced. In other words, the internal resistance of the voltmeter should be as high as possible to avoid the loading effect. So to avoid the loading effect, voltmeter internal resistance should be as high as possible. Keep in mind. Now let us see the example for this loading effect. You can see the problem is there. There is a circuit, 100 kilo ohm and 50 kilo ohm. They are connected in series across. Voltmeter is connected across 50 kilo ohm and we have given the supply of 150 volts. Let us see the problem. That is, it is designed to measure the voltage across the 50 kilo ohm resistance in the circuit of the figure. 2 voltmeters are available for these measurements. Voltmeter 1 with a sensitivity of 1000 ohms per volt and voltmeter 2 with a sensitivity of 20,000 ohms per volt. With both meters being used on their scale, that is in the 50 volts range, calculate the reading of each meter and the error in each reading expressed as a percentage of the true value. So the voltage across the 50 kilo ohm resistor is, that is V equal to, that is you can say 50 kilo ohm resistor, the total voltage into voltage measured across that resistance divided by total resistance, that is 50 by 150 into supply voltage 150, that is 0 gets cancelled and you can finally simplify, that is you can get 150 get cancelled and you can get kilo cancelled, hence you can get 50 volts. This is the true value of the voltage across the 50 kilo ohm resistor. Now coming to the first problem, that is what we have to measure is reading of the each meter, that is voltmeter 1 sensitivity is equal to 1000 ohms per volt has given. It has a resistance of sensitivity, that is 50 volts resistance into 1000 volts, that is the full scale deflection and is there, that is you can simplify, you can get 50 kilo ohm on its 50 volts range. Connecting the meter across the 50 kilo ohm resistor causes the equal and parallel resistance to be decreased 25 kilo ohm, decreased to 25k, and the total circuit resistance is to 125 kilo ohm. The potential difference across the combination of the meter and 50 kilo ohm resistor is, that is V1 equal to 25 kilo ohm by 125 kilo ohm into the total voltage, that is 150 volts, which is, if you simplify this equation you can get 30 volts. Hence the voltmeter indicates a voltage of 30 volts. Now coming to the voltmeter 2 has a resistance of, that is it has a sensitivity, that is 70 kilo ohm per volt. It has a resistance of, that is if you substitute the values, that is 50 volts into 20 kilo ohm per volt, you can get 1 mega ohm on its range. When this meter is connected across the 50, the equivalent parallel resistance equals, that is 47.6 kilo ohm. This combination produces a voltage of V2 equal to 47.6 parallel resistance divided by 147.6 kilo ohm into 150 volts. If you simplify this, 48.36 volts is the answer, which is indicated on the voltmeter. So you can see what is the accurate reading, what is the approximate reading, you can see. Now coming to the what is the error, measurement of error. The error in the reading of voltmeter 1 is, you can define error is equal to true voltage minus apparent voltage divided by true voltage into 100%. That means it can give the percentage of error, that is into 100%. True voltage is 50 volts and apparent voltage is 30 volts divided by true voltage 50 volts into 100, you can get that is 40%. So the measurement of error is 40%. So what are the precautions we have to take while connecting the voltmeter? Observe the correct polarity. Wrong polarity may cause damage to the deflection system. And the second one, place the voltmeter across the circuit element whose voltage is to be measured. Always use the highest voltage range and then decrease the range to a suitable level. So these are the precautions. First one is the correct polarity, and voltmeter should be placed perfectly, and always use the highest voltage range and then decrease the range to a suitable level. These are the precautions while connecting the voltmeter. Now let us summarize all the topics, that is Megger and sensitivity of the voltmeter. Now so far we have discussed the construction of what is Megger and construction of Megger and working principle of Megger and voltmeter sensitivity and loading effect and an example of the loading effect. Now coming to the quiz part. To measure high resistance, which meter is used? A. Ohm meter, B. Wheatstone bridge, C. Megger, and D. Ammeter. The correct answer is Megger, because the resistances are classified as low resistance, high resistances and medium resistances. Low resistance, that can be measured with the Kelvin and Kelvin double bridge, and ohm meter is generally for the, we have already seen series and shunt type, so those are not used for the high resistance, and Wheatstone bridge is for the medium resistance. Ammeter is used for the current measurement. Hence the correct answer is Megger. Megger is nothing but mega ohm resistance, whose resistance ranges from the 0.1 mega ohm to several hundred mega ohms. Now coming to the 2. This question 2. Megger consists of what? A. DC generator, B. AC generator, C. DC motor, and D. none of the above. We have already seen in the construction. Let us go to the figure, construction figure. Let us this is just like a summary. Okay, now you can see there is a generator is there, that is a hand driven generator, that is the DC generator. Now coming to the question number 3. Sensitivity is expressed in dash volt per ohms, ohms per volt, Weber per volt, D none of the above. The answer is ohms per volt, because it is the resistance offered divided by resistance offered to the voltage. that is ohms per volt. A voltmeter connected across 2 points in a highly resistive circuit acts as a dash for that portion of the circuit. That means it acts as a shunt for that portion of the circuit. The correct answer is shunt. The frequently asked questions in the exams are: what is Megger? Explain the construction and working principle of Megger. How the voltage coils are connected in a Megger. We have two voltage coils there, 90 degrees apart, or they are connected in 90 degrees apart. What is the purpose of the generator in Megger? And coming to the voltmeter sensitivity questions, calculate the value of the multiplier resistance, that is on the 50 volts range of a DC voltmeter that uses a 200 microammeter ammeter meter moment with an internal resistance of 100 ohms using sensitivity method. And explain the loading effect or loading effect meter or loading in voltmeters. These are the frequently asked questions, frequently asked in the exams. I hope that this presentation will help you somewhat extent. Thank you very much for listening.